God bless you. I'm Master Prophet Bernard Jordan, and I'm excited about today's program. I have a dear friend here, no stranger to the power of prophecy. You've heard her testimony here on the power of prophecy, and that is Judge Glenda Hatchett. How are you doing today?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much. It's great to be with you again. Thank you.
This is exciting. Now listen, I got your email about a new project that you're on. Right. I know I called you late last night.
I was so glad to hear from you.
Because I was so moved when I saw what you were doing for our children. And that is Parent Power Now. We're going to tell you how to go to the internet and sign up and be a part of this and get your children involved. Yes. But I heard some startling news about our children drop out, school situation. What is this epidemic that is happening here in America?
I will tell you, Bishop, we're talking all over the country now. This is not just an urban problem or a rural problem. We are in a crisis with all of our children dropping out, too many of them dropping out of school. And as you know my heart, yes, and you know that I'm concerned about all of our children without regard to race or culture. Exactly. I'm concerned about our children because I believe that that is God's definitive way of saying that the world must go on, that He gives us children.
Yes.
And that says to me that He has hope and He believes in the future, and it is incumbent upon us to make sure that our children get from here to adulthood. But what is happening in America, in the richest nation on the face of the globe, is that particularly African-American children, that we are hovering right at a 50% dropout rate. 1 in 2 of our children is not graduating from school.
Wow.
Now, what that translates into is not just a child dropping out of the system, but the implications for his or her lifetime.
Yes.
Those children are 3.5 times more likely, Bishop, to have a criminal record than a child that finishes. 7 times more likely to be on welfare. 7 times more likely to have a child themselves who will drop out. And so it begins to be generational. So if, particularly now in this recession, if you don't have an education, you aren't competitive.
You're right.
And too many of our children are really, when we talk about leaving no child behind, too many of our children are being left behind.
Now, you've worked in the courtroom, the court system. Tell us, what was that like? Because I mean, you know, you found your passion. Your passion was dealing with, you know, children. Tell us what was coming through the court system. What did you see coming through the court system?
I had a very interesting experience right when I came to the court. You know, I thought I understood the problems. But as you know, I came out of corporate America. And this was a radical change. As you know, I wasn't planning on giving up my old job. You know, we had this conversation. Like, I was comfortable. I was working for a major airline. I was flying around the world. You know, life is sweet. But my daddy said, just to digress for a second so that your viewers will kind of understand how I got here, is my dad said when they came to me, a woman who had been the judge for years had passed away, and they said, Glenda, we really need you to come and take this on. And I'm like, not me, you know, because I was comfortable. I'm not going to lie about it. I was comfortable, Bishop. And my dad said something to me I'll never forget. He said, Glenda, before you decide, you better pray about this.
Wow.
That's what he said to me.
So your parents were praying parents.
Oh, I wouldn't be here with you, Bishop, today. I wouldn't be, and I'm very clear about that.
And you had the gift of 2 parents.
2 parents. We talk about to death do you part. My dad died very suddenly 16 years ago. My mom and dad were still madly in love until he left this earth suddenly. And so I grew up having a very strong father and a very strong mother who were there for me. And my dad was my closest confidant. He was the one I went to. He's the one, my parents prayed for me, Bishop, when sometimes I didn't have enough sense to pray for myself. And I give God and my parents, I mean, I know that I am here because of God's grace and mercy and because He blessed me with parents. So my dad says, pray about it. I'm thinking, pray? What, you know? What do you want to pray? You know, I got this job. I just had 2 promotions. I'm the highest ranking woman at the airline, a woman of color, worldwide. You know, I mean, life was pretty sweet. So fast forward, I prayed about it, and I'm not going to lie to you, Bishop, I did one of those yo-yo prayers. Lord, what you want me to do? Lord, you don't really want me to give up this job. But if you turn it over to God, you may not be able to pull it back. Ooh. Because I thought that I would be there for all of my career, become a senior officer, senior vice president. That was my plan. God had something very different for me. And this is where my purpose and my passion lined up. Because I would have never been able to touch a 7-year-old's life, or the young woman who was baptized in my church last month who came through my court system, and I hadn't seen her in years. She said to me at church one Sunday, she said, Judge, I've been looking for you. And I've been traveling. And she said, I'm getting baptized on the first Sunday. You saved my life.
Really?
She said, you locked me up. I was angry. And I said, my God. See, I don't usually lock kids up unless I don't have, you know, they have to really, I have to be at the.
Wow.
She said, but you took me off the streets.
Wow.
She said, you locked me up, and I now know that that saved my life. She said, will you come and be with me when I'm baptized? Don't you know, Bishop, I was there when she got baptized. So I didn't mean to get off on a long tangent.
No. This is precious.
But I know that this is where I'm supposed to be. That winning, and I was good at what I did. I was a litigator. I tried cases for Delta Airlines all over the country. I was good. I never lost a case. I was good at what I did. But that wasn't changing anybody's life. To win a multi-million-dollar verdict on an antitrust case, or to get this contract done or this done, wasn't changing anybody's life. I know that I am where I'm supposed to be.
Wow.
You know?
And you know, and just thinking about, I'm thinking about the prophetic words that have been spoken into your life and the things that we had sense of you doing with children. I remember talking with you at one point where you were talking about these children on the bench. I remember something about the bench and, you know, getting them off the bench. But I want to say, when I saw this and I saw the video, we're going to talk more about this, looking at the devastation that has happened in our communities, happening with children, our young people, some are almost raising themselves.
Yes,
literally.
Too many. I mean, literally, Bishop, they are.
And do you find that when the parents are not active, gangs start forming in the community as a substitute?
Let me tell you what it is. I'll make this story real brief. 15-year-old leaves home. She's been gone for 3 months. 3 months. 3 months. You've been gone.
3 months.
You go. Your mom and dad know where you were for 30 minutes.
Exactly.
I mean, come on. You know. I mean, it didn't fly when we were growing up. 3 months she'd been gone, and she had joined a gang. And what happened is that they're in my courtroom that morning, and the mother and the daughter are both crying hysterically. And I'm saying, I don't have a choice. This is the backstory. When she left home, she decided she was going to be grown and she was going to go out and be in the streets and do what she wanted to do. She got involved with the gang, and she went through a series of gang initiations, most of which are too graphic for me to relay to you. But you fill in the blanks.
Yes.
She was raped. She was sidelined. She was ordered to do certain crimes. And the last step in the gang initiation, she was ordered to kill somebody. Bishop, I can tell you some stories in here today, because if you can imagine it, I have seen it 1,000 times worse than anything that you can imagine. But